For these next two examples, we're going to use z-score to compare observations. One of the most important uses of z-score is to allow us to compare observation from different groups. So let's say we are comparing two different test scores. So over here it says your friend is also taking statistics. They score an 87 on their first exam while you score 83. All right, let's compare who did better. But his exam was easier. The class average was 80 with a standard deviation of 5. Okay, and your exam had an average score of 70 with a standard deviation of 10. All right, so let's summarize. Your score was 83. Your friend's score was 87. His exam average was 80 and a standard deviation of 5. Where your exam had an average of 70 and a standard deviation of 10. So we could draw the curve over here and then we could compare the values, right? Sometimes it's we can see which one is better just by looking at that. So 83, we have a mean of 70, and then it looks like we're just a little bit more than one standard deviation above the mean, right? 83 would be right here somewhere. Okay, your friend, they had a mean of 80, a score of 87, and a standard deviation of 5. So again, 87 is just slightly above one standard deviation above the mean. So it's really hard to compare. Like if it was, 80 versus 90, a lot easier to see. But over here, we can't just use our 68, 95, 99.7 rule to compare these. We need something else. And this is where z-scores come in really handy. So we're going to convert each value to a z-score by taking the value of interest, that's your score, subtracting from it the mean, and dividing by the standard deviation. And just like before, we have to make sure that we're going to put parentheses around that. So 83 minus 70 is 13, divided by 10 gives us a z-score of 1.3. You scored 1.3 standard deviations above the mean. Your friend had a score of 87 and a mean of 80 and a standard deviation of 5. So again, that's a 7 divided by a 5, which is equal to 1.4. So your friend scored 1.4 standard deviations above the mean, where you only scored 1.3 standard deviations above the mean. So relatively speaking, your friend had a better score than you did. So your friend had a higher relative score, or higher, they scored better. But when we're comparing two values, is bigger always better? Well, it depends on the data set. Over here, when we're looking at test scores, yes, when you have a higher score, that's going to be better score, right? But that is not always the case. So I want you to look at exercise 5, and I want you to stop the video and compare these two friends' running times. And then when you're ready to go, you can start the video up again. So we have two friends who are training for the Boston Marathon. James is training on a hilly jogging loop. For the general population of runners, the time to complete this loop follows a normal distribution with a mean of 167 minutes and a standard deviation of 25 minutes. Rob is training on a flat jogging route. The time to complete this flat route follows a normal distribution with a mean of 143 minutes and a standard deviation of 20 minutes. And I'm assuming this is sample data, so we're going to use the x-bar for the mean and s for the standard deviation. If it takes James 91 minutes to complete his loop, so 91, way below the mean over here, and it takes Rob 86 minutes to complete the loop, who is in better shape? Well, let's calculate the z-scores for each of them and then look at it in the context. So again, we take the value, we're subtracting the mean, and we're dividing by the standard deviation. And when we do this correctly, any value less than the mean is going to end up with a negative z-score. So 91 minus 167 is equal to negative 76 divided by 25 gives us a z-score of negative 3.04. Where Rob, on the other hand, has a z-score or a value of 86 minus 143, which is the mean for his route, divided by the standard deviation. Again, make sure you put the numerator in parentheses. That's negative 57 divided by 20, which gives us a z-score of negative 2.85. So both of them have negative z-scores. Both of them have pretty unusual values because it's negative 3.04, definitely even more unusual than negative 2.85. However, who has the better score over here? Keep in mind with running times, we want the running times to be as short as possible. So someone who has a more negative value actually has a better running time, right? So James is more than 3 standard deviations below the mean. His running time is that much faster. It's faster than most of the runners. Very unusual value. So negative 3.04 is more extreme. It's further away from the average. So James has a better running time compared to other people who run his loop. So we would say James is in better condition. So you always want to keep in mind, what is your data displaying, right? Do we want a higher score like we would want with a test score or an IQ score? Or do we want a faster running time, so a lower value for a running time, as it is here with our two running friends? So James is in better shape because he has a lower z-score this time. Always keep in mind the context of the data.